Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are staying at the Mount San Jacinto State Park. Freaking Lucy. We're at the Idyllwild Campground. We wanted to stay here last year, and then we had so much snow throughout the year. Our reservation got canceled, but I got pushed out to this year. So excited to finally make it out here for the weekend. As always, I'm going to cover the rules, regulations first, and then I'll go through the pros and cons that I plan on doing tomorrow when we take off, and then I'll show you video of the campground and cover other things that you should know. So let's start with those rules. As you walk in, you'll see the place to check in, and then you have to actually sign the rules to make sure that you've acknowledged that you read them, which I actually find pretty useful. For those of you who have not been here yet, I'm going to cover those now. So only 8 people per site or 2 vehicles max. Quiet hours 10 to 6. Be quiet. No generator between 8 to 10. No wood or pine cone gathering. Fees due upon entry. Checkout time is noon. Fires only allowed in designated fire rings. You know, they may say, depending on the weather and stuff like that, you may not have a fire at all. Dogs must remain on leash, no longer than 6 feet. Be inside tent, etc. Vehicles must park in designated spaces only. Campers must leave site or trash before checkout. Helmet required for youth under 18 when riding a bicycle. Public use of weed is prohibited. And then sign here. That basically covers rules, regulations, pretty straightforward with what you'd expect. As a last note before I cover pros and cons, again, you'll see a cut for that. One of the things that you should know about Idyllwild, aside from how beautiful it is, I love being up here, is the fact that there's not a lot of like really family-friendly hikes. So you have the nature center, which I'll put some info on down below as well. That has like the perimeter trail I've covered, right? There's a lot of small hikes there. Ernie Maxwell does have some elevation, but it's 4 miles, it's doable. And then a lot of other hikes are pretty strenuous and pretty high in like elevation climb. May not be suitable for kids, you know, young kids or older parents and stuff like that. It's a little bit more challenging when finding a hiking trail up here for that reason. There is a loop here around the campground. It's about half a mile though. We are gonna go out and explore a little bit like I did last time. The last plug I'll say is my Idyllwild video. It actually is the only one I've ever had that really went viral. The Maui video was second close, but Idyllwild still continues to be up there. If you're curious about what to do up here and if you want to learn more about Idyllwild, make sure you check that out. Time to enjoy the weekend. This is so nice. All right, it's gonna be a little bit weird with the light here, but let's close this out. Pros, check-in, really nice to have an actual check-in spot with rangers who know the area pretty well and you can talk to them about trails and other things. Tall trees and shade, definitely bring a hammock. That was a big miss on my end. Site specific, you could get some in the north end that are a little bit more secluded, but there is a con to that and I'll cover that in a second. And then lastly here are showers and running water. Yeah, bathrooms are really nice. There's showers, tokens that you can purchase, etc. Cons, road noise nearby. Somebody did wake us up last night like at 2 a.m. So with that said, if you're looking for something that's a little bit more private, maybe a little bit more in nature, Stone Creek is nearby, and that's actually where we did our hike this time around. So something for you to consider. And as I mentioned, site specific. So yes, the north ones, like we're in site number 20, very secluded. We're kind of up a little bit away from, this is probably the furthest I've ever been from anybody at a campground. However, with that comes a small walk up a little hill. So you gotta haul all your stuff up the little hill. At night going back to your car, because your car, I can't see my car from here. So pros and cons here, but I would say if you're looking at the campground, anything on the north end, and I'll kind of cover it here, I would prefer. So when I come back, I'm gonna look for these sites specifically. Hope you guys enjoyed the campground review and recommendations. Stick around for next week.